Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review, we're going to be looking at the Takara MP masterpiece. This is MP48 Plus. This is Dark Amber Leoprime. So with this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes. We're going to do some comparisons with size with some other masterpiece figures, and indeed, in total honesty, with this particular figure here, which is the sole reason that made me purchase the masterpiece, because I was just so impressed with how good the mainline legacy figure looked. I wanted to have a look at the masterpiece. So quite a bit to get through with this video, and before we get started, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to this channel, let's hit that subscribe button for me now please. And the other is to thank Shozy, because that's where I purchased this from, and as you can see, they got him out to me nice, quickly and safely. So the box again is lovely. I've just opened this up again for speed of the video. We can see that he looks amazing. I just love this, just the color scheme. As I say, I think at the moment these black figures, as in the black paint scheme on them, the Nemesis versions, the dark versions, they just really seem to work ever so well, even though it is just obviously a black and a grey with a bit of silver, and of course the normal Leo convoy is full of all the bright colours. This just looks brilliant. So here is the box. As I said, I've just opened that particular end there, so we can have a look at that in a second. On the back, we've got some product shots. We've got some of all of the, I suppose, the bonus things that you can do with him. I'm going to show you all of that in a second. And there indeed are all of his accessories. So as I said, that is how he comes packaged. He then comes in a huge, it's not really a clamshell, it's just a plastic casing, and this is quite big. So to give you an idea, I suppose, of how big it is already, there is a leader class Siege Magnus, which this is going to be huge, to be honest. Right, let's have a look quickly first and foremost at the other things that come in. I've just opened these as well. We've got the collector's card for him there. And if I didn't say at the beginning, I'm sure I did, this of course is just a redeco of the original MP48, exactly the same as what they did in Legacy. So we've got these huge, and I sometimes refer to these as novels because some of the masterpiece instructions are that, they're absolutely huge. Right, let's take this off and let's have a look at the figure itself then. So yeah, that's massive, to be fair. It's really big. Loads of reflectiveness going there. So we've got some missiles, different colours, and we've got like a missile gun there, which we'll have a bit of a look at in a second. So the figure itself, this is my first masterpiece beast figure, shall we say. I've got a few masterpiece figures, but none which are animals. So this is a first sort of experience of this of this particular figure. Now that, funnily enough and thankfully enough, looks easy enough to just reattach. And again, if you're new to this channel, if things like that happen, I tend to keep it rolling, because it obviously, if that happens to yourself, it just proves that it's not too detrimental or indeed too bad. So the head sculpt is, it's all right, to be fair. It's pretty good. There's enough detail there with the, I suppose it's like an electric blue on the whiskers. The eyes have got the red in the middle and the blue around the side. The head looks to be on a huge, yeah, there's loads of articulation here. There is on the mane as well, of course. We can move the mane, which you've seen, all the way. Yep, you've got full articulation. If you wanted to turn this all the way around, you can close that up. We can also bring these bits out. There is, yep, these are on ratchets. So this is the hind leg hips, shall we say. The tail as well has two hinges on it, one on the actual tail and one that bit there. So we've got the knees, we've got the ankles, yeah, we've got all of this. So if we class these, which they are as the hind legs, which I presume are going to be the robot legs, there's articulation at the hip, at the knee, and at the foot, and of course the ankle. You can hear they're all on ratchets because it's making literally a racket. The front legs are going to do the same. You can see there's some protective, yep, there we go, there's some protective packaging still on the inside of there. That's going to fold in. Again, colour scheme is working. I mean, look, you can't really see the feet because of the height of the camera. Let me just bring it down a little lower, because the toes, this electric blue, electric metallic blue colour scheme is just really working on it. I presume, is there a swivel? Yeah, there is. There's a swivel there as well, but you would have to disconnect the back just ever so slightly to get that, but there is one. We've just found it. Let's have a look, I suppose, some of the other features that you can do whilst in this mode. And this again is very similar to the deluxe figure, so I believe we can lift this up, spin it round. I'm going to reattach it. That shouldn't keep happening. Why does it keep happening? Maybe if I lift that out of the way and push it on. You know, in one way it's a bit of a pain in the bum, but in the other it's a bit of a godsend, because obviously if it was a figure, brand new figure like this, especially masterpiece, and you did just, or me, obviously not you, just open it up and snap it off, you'd be far more unimpressed than what we are now. So we can fold these out. These are little blasters, so we can put these in if we wanted to. Now they don't have firing mechanisms, so they're not spring loaded, they're just going to go in, and there's two different colors, so there's black ones there for that. I think I can put this down. Can I put it down more? I can flare these out, and then I've just seen again on the back of the instructions we can bring these around. Now these do look like they've got firing mechanisms, but there's not at all. I think that's just going to help us get it out. So let's go for some of the grey missiles now. Pop that into there. To be honest, I'm pretty sure this is going to display much better in robot mode. I like some of the alternate beast modes, but I think the robot modes just look that little bit better, and I think that's going to be exactly the same case with this. But there you go, that is powered up. I can't see any other way to attach the other two little missiles, and to be honest, I don't really think I've missed anything else from this apart from the fact that it does look good. I mean, I can flare these out even more, but there's no real need to. If you start to do that, it doesn't look too good, in honesty. So I can wonder if I can fold them in. No, you can't fold them in with them inside, but that's pretty much it for him in his alternate mode. I'm liking it. Right, let's see how he properly looks and get all the real comparisons done. In fact, now before we do that, let's just bring in some other masterpiece figures. So there's Masterpiece Trailbreaker, which is again quite a big masterpiece figure. I've got a few other figures randomly just dotted around. So there's a G1 Optimus Prime. If it was the articulated one, you could probably ride on the back of him. Funnily enough, just because he's here, let's have a look at him compared to the Jurassic Park T-Rex. So this is, yeah, it's a like sort of a leader class, but obviously not as tall as that. But that's because with this, it's feeling weighty. There's definitely got to be some die cast in this, which I'm going to find. Is that die cast there? Yeah, there you go. So the hind leg parts there, they're die cast. So okay, it's just that little bit more robust compared to some normal figures. Again, deluxe, it is really quite big, but I'm sure this figure is going to come to its own, as we're about to see right now, with him in his robot mode. So let's have a look at that. Okay, then we're back, and as you can see, he's in his robot mode. Quick apologies, no transformation process on this video. That is for two reasons. One, to keep the main length of the video down, and the other is because I've uploaded a tutorial, so I hope this helps you out as well. And I'm sure you can tell already looking at this, it is spectacular. It just really works. This color scheme is absolutely beautiful. It really looks so good with the light reflecting on it. And as I've already touched on a few times, just this blue, obviously had it on the in fact it was a different head on the front, wasn't it? Yeah, look, see, there was the original lion's head on the inside there of the shoulder, but obviously on the shoulder this side we've got the faux head there. And I touched on this blue that you can see just really works. It is so nice. In fact, let's have a proper look at it then. So if we just move the mane of the lion out, we've got the head sculpt with these blue eyes, which is just popping. The blue on the top of the chest there, a little bit on the inside. We should be able to, of course, lift this out, and you've got to look at the matrix. Oh no, that's the transformation part, but that is of course where you can open that out on his chest. That looks really good. Maximal sign on the inside, blue on the belt, blue on the top of the shins and on the toes, and yeah, there's of course the lion paws. Just works, looks lovely. Gunmetal grey tied in with some reflective silver, tied in with a different version of silver. Just so good. In fact, I might even just lift this up just a fraction more just so you can see. That's better. That's probably going to fit him in screen much better. So with regards to the head, I mean, that's a really good, to be honest, generation 1 sort of Optimus Prime head. The articulation on it will go yes, it does go all the way around. Yeah, I thought that this part here was going to restrict it. It does if you push it in there, but it doesn't. You know, usually you can just twist it or angle it out of the way. He looks up and down as well, which is brilliant. Now, obviously, when it comes to the arms and the shoulder articulation, it can be very, very hindered by what we've got here, but it's just quite simple to lift it up. So if you want to take them all the way out to the side, you can hear we've got ratchets there. In fact, you can move this completely out of the way and bring it up just past the point of obviously horizontal, but then you will be separating the shoulder joint. It will go all the way down. It will go as far around as it can until it gets restricted by what's behind it, but we can bring that down and again cover it up neatly anyway. And let's keep it there just so you can see what we're doing. You've got the swivel just underneath the shoulder. You've obviously got the bicep flexion again on separate ratchets. You've got wrist swivel, and you've got finger articulation. Is it up to the knuckle? Pretty much up to about the knuckle. So good articulation on the arm. You've got a waist swivel, again sounds like it's on ratchets. You've got it's not really an ab crunch, that's coming from the hips, which again you can see, and if I spin these around you can see these ball and socket ratchets that you've got inside there. This helps it spin around and at the same time just click all the way up. I think these parts here, no, that's not the die caster, so the die caster is at the back, which you saw in the other mode, but you've still got a swivel there. You've got a swivel underneath. You've got a double ratcheted knee bend. It will go all the way up, of course, because for when you've transformed him into beast mode. You've got an ankle swivel, a pivot, a tilt, and a rock. It is fully articulated, hugely. Again, a little bit hindered with this side, but all you've got to do is lift this up and you can move this around. This one isn't clicking as much. Oh, out to the side, there we go. So you can keep everything sort of covered up. Let's just have a quick look at him from the, I know you've got this, I suppose, kibble problem with the feet on the back, but of course there's not really anywhere else that you could hide it, to be honest. The accessories are here. So here is his, I don't even know what it is. It's just like, I suppose it's a bit like a rail gun. In fact, if I put this in his hand, I'm just trying to check on the instructions how it is that he has this, to be honest. Is it more like a grenade? Again, please correct me, because again, the Beast Wars Japanese is completely out of my comfort zone. I haven't seen any of the cartoons just yet. I just love this figure, to be, as I say, because of the other ones. I'm going to pop this into his hand. I think it's just going to slot in and be held in. Oh no, of course it isn't. You could hold it in that way, but of course it's no use. I've just noticed there is the usual tabs that you get on pretty much Masterpiece figures. So it's looking, there we go, correct myself. So there's probably loads of people just starting to write a comment, you're putting it in wrong, but I've managed to correct it, find it. I always find these. Is it just me, or is it overly difficult to tab it in? I don't know. Perhaps it is. Let's just wrap that round. There we go. That looks a lot better. That looks far better, to be honest. The heels here keep folding back in as well. That looks pretty good, to be fair, doesn't it? It really does. On the back, it's showing us as well that we can do what I thought you could do. So we can fold these down, and of course you could then put the black parts in, or the black missiles in, if you wanted to. So again, it's a bit of like a, it's sort of like a power-up mode, isn't it? I love the fact you've got all these hidden little things folding out, and it just makes it look really good. You can as well, if you wanted to, don't forget, you can open up this, fold this out as well, because if you remember, on the inside there is the other parts from when he was in line mode. So you can bring this around, and if you wanted to, aim that down, put them in. It's just another thing. I can't imagine many people would, but you can if you want to. Let's bring that down. It didn't fall off this time, it managed to stay there. Right, what I need to do though is just fold all these back to how they should go. Now the only unfortunate thing is, even though they've got these tabs, they don't fire. There's nothing, as I say, I think there's definitely no springs in, and it's just a case of what you've seen me do then, just pull it out and push it in. So it would have been nice, especially the fact that it's Takara, you know, it would have been nice to have something like, see that little tab, it'll fit inside there. It would have been nice to have some sort of firing mechanism, because, you know, Takara, they pretty much do, don't they? They've done it with, ever since I think they first introduced the figures. Now I want to give you an idea, I suppose, of the scale and size compared to the figure that made me buy this one. There is the completely powered up Voyager class figure. So there's your idea of this complete difference in size. This is much, much bigger. I mean, obviously you've got a huge price difference, of course you have, but this is still really like this. This is on a different level. It looks beautiful, it really does. Let's move this over. And just because he's standing there, again, just for a sort of size comparison, there's a G1 Optimus Prime. I've got some other figures here, some more masterpiece ones to give you an idea, but let's have a look how similar these are. The feet, slightly different. I mean, if I wanted to, I suppose I could fold. Can I? I could fold the paws back, I suppose, if you wanted to, whereas obviously on the Voyager, they're folded forward. Otherwise, it's... I was going to say it's similar, but it's not. Look, there's quite a bit more kibble on the Voyager, and on the back it's much, much sleeker. So they've done a really good job with that, to be honest. Let's spin him around, stand him up again, and let's bring in some other masterpiece. That's because these haven't lined up. There we go. Line them up and he will stand up straight. Some of the newer masterpiece figures. So yeah, he's taller than the train bots, because the train bots are pretty much all the same size, but I don't think he's as tall as your Seekers. I'm knocking everything over here. There we go. Yeah, he's not. So he's sort of in the middle of the range for the masterpiece figures, which you can see by that. Let me just, in fact, I've got crosscut here as well. So yeah, he's bigger than the smaller cars for obvious reasons. It is one of the smaller cars. The figure that I just knocked over, funnily enough, I'm going to actually use. I wasn't going to, but this is Leader Class Dreadwing. So let's see how big. Oh, pretty much same sort of size, same sort of stature, but again, completely different engineering into this guy, with some metal, with some die cast, and with some much, much better posability, to be honest. Is he going to fall? I thought he would. The good thing about all the things that I've shown you on the video, there's nothing really hidden. And what I mean by that is everything's pretty much in the instructions, or indeed on the back of the box. It's nice to be able to just quickly reference everything that I've shown you, or everything that I can show you on the video, without having to, you know, delve too deep into finding too many things. So yeah, there it is, the Energon Matrix in his chest, which we've seen. Again, that's pretty much it. There's not much more to show or say to you about this. Hopefully you can tell that I'm really, really impressed with this. I'm contemplating now perhaps going back to get the original, but at the moment this colour scheme is just really working for me. So there you go, collector's card included, instructions, 4 grey bombs with the missile, whatever it is there, the gun. I need to find out what the proper name of the gun is. Beam, they're calling it on this, and they just call it missiles on that. But there you go, guys. Let's wrap this up. This is Transformers Takara Tomy Masterpiece MP 48 Plus Maximal Leader Dark Amber Leo Prime. Let me know what you think of him in the comments. I think he's beautiful. Let me know what you think. Take care.